What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout Spot where you already know it's Real Talk Sports Talk, live from my man cave. It's your boy Johnny, and let's talk NFL football as I'm about to drop my Week 13 picks with spreads. And I want to apologize again for not dropping my picks last week. I was actually a special guest on a podcast, the OW Sports Podcast, live on Facebook every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. My boy Vince and Stevie D, they do a fabulous job. If you can, go check them out and support. But anyhow, the week prior, I was actually 10-4 picking the winner outright. So I had a good week there, but a not so good week picking against the spread. I was only 7-7. So hopefully we can get back on track this week. Starting with tomorrow night's Thursday night game between the 6-5 Seattle Seahawks, who are traveling to Dallas to face the 8-3 Dallas Cowboys, who are coming in at a 9-point favorite. And God, it's about time that the Cowboys actually face a team with a heartbeat, man, because talk about 3 easy games back to back. And trust me when I tell you, I'm not knocking them because, you can't help who's on your schedule. You can only beat or try to beat whoever's on your schedule. And good teams, yeah, that's what they do. They beat up on bad teams. But boy, have they been beating up on these bad teams. I mean, they had the Giants, the Carolina Panthers, and Washington, and they beat them by a combined score of 127-37. That is crazy in today's NFL. But you got to hand it to Dak Prescott, man. He is playing out of his mind football. He's an MVP candidate. I mean, 70% completion percentage. He has 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and has developed an excellent rapport with CeeDee Lamb, who already has 1,000 yards receiving. In fact, he's averaging 96.9 yards a game. He has 6 touchdowns. So again, they have that offense flying high. Dak isn't making those mistakes. And their defense, well, one of the best in the league. The Cowboys are very much well-rounded, but they have to prove that they can beat some winning teams too. And this week will be a tough game. Even though the Seahawks haven't been playing well lately, they actually got blown out on Thanksgiving, 31-13 at home in a game I thought was going to be closer. In fact, I had picked them to win in an upset. But losers of 2 straight, you got to think that Pete Carroll is going to come out and have them playing with a lot more passion and pride. That being said, I just think the Cowboys right now are on a roll. They're going to be hard to stop. They're the better team all around. I think the Cowboys win this game, but even though they've covered double-digit spread points the last 3 weeks, 9 points, I think they win by a touchdown or less. I don't know if they cover. So I'm going to pick Dallas to win, but Seahawks to cover. Which brings us to our Sunday games, starting at 1 p.m., which is our 1 o'clock slate of games, with the Indianapolis Colts, the 6-5 Indianapolis Colts, will travel to Tennessee to face the 4-7 Tennessee Titans. The Colts are coming in as a 1-point favorite, winners of their last 3. And the only thing I can say about that is Minshew mania, man. I mean, a backup quarterback comes in and he's just providing a ton of energy. He's super energetic. You could tell the guys love playing with him. He's active at the goal line, isn't afraid to run in and drop his shoulder and run in for a touchdown. Again, this is all coming from a backup quarterback. The Colts right now are looking like a legit team that could make the playoffs. I mean, they are looking that way. And the Titans, on the other hand, unless they play at home, they don't win. They're 4-0 at home, but they're 0-7 on the road. And I know that this game is at home, so most people are going to probably say that the Titans have the edge here, but I just think the Colts right now are the hot team. They're playing really good football right now, inspired football. So I think that 4-game winning streak at home is going to come to an end, and I think the Titans are going to lose this game, and the Colts are going to cover the points, or the 1 point. I'm sorry. Which brings us to our next game. The LA Chargers, the 4-7 Chargers, are going to be traveling to New England to face the 2-9 New England Patriots, who, ladies and gentlemen, just aren't a good football team at all. It's shocking for me to say that a Bill Belichick team is actually 2-9 this late in the season. But fact of the matter is, they just don't have talent, and that's period. I mean, the musical chairs of quarterbacks isn't helping them. I know Bill is trying to find anything that he can possibly find during the game to provide a spark. So he's been starting Mac Jones, and he won't hesitate to go to Bailey Zappi in the second half, but it just hasn't worked. And right now you got to think that the Patriots are a serious contender to get that top pick in the draft, with the way they're playing. Chargers, they haven't been playing any better either. I mean, ever since they beat the Jets, they're 0-3. But they have the better offense. They have the better quarterback. So a 6-point favorite going to New England against a Bill Belichick coach team might be tough. But I'm going to pick the Chargers to win this game and cover just because, again, the Patriots have no talent at all. Which brings us to our next game. The 8-3 Detroit Lions are going to be traveling to face the 5-6 New Orleans Saints. And the Lions are coming in as a 4-point favorite, winners of 3 of the last 4, even though they lost last week against the Packers on Thanksgiving. And then you have the Saints, who are losers of 2 straight, haven't really looked good. They've been up and down. Derek Carr has looked pedestrian, only 10 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a lot of bad decisions late in games. I'm going to go with the Lions here because I think the Lions are the better team. Even though the Saints have the tendency to play better in New Orleans in the Dome, I'm going to pick the Lions to come back from that loss and win this game and cover the 4 points, which takes us to our next game. The 2-10 Arizona Cardinals will travel to Pittsburgh to face the 7-4 Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers right now are a 5.5-point favorite, and the Cardinals, even with Kyler Murray, can't seem to win a game. They did win their first game when he started, but they've lost the next 2. The Steelers are winners of 3 of the last 4. Their offense isn't lighting up the scoreboard, but their defense is legit, and they are well coached. They are actually 5th in the league in points allowed and 4th in interceptions, so they find a way to turn the ball over and put momentum back on the side of the offense. I think, again, the Steelers are the better coach team with Mike Tomlin. And right now, the Cardinals, you got to think that they are trying to compete with the Patriots for that top spot in the draft. So I'm going to pick the Steelers to win this game and cover the 5.5 points, which take us to our next game. The Miami Dolphins at 8-3 will be traveling to Washington to face the 4-8 Commanders. Miami winners of 3 out of the last 4. Coming off a big blowout win against my Jets on Black Friday. And they are, in my opinion, the best, if not the second best offense in the league behind the Cowboys. They are legit. I mean, Tua is playing really, really good football, and Tyreek Hill is an MVP candidate. He's a cheetah. He's the fastest guy in the field. They use him in the short passing game. They use him in the vertical passing game. He always, for some reason, seems to be open, which is mind-boggling to me, especially since you know that defensive coordinators are keying in on him during the week when they when they come up with their game plan. But they're just that good. And then you got the Commanders. I mean, they're dead last in points allowed, so they're playing a high-flying offense, and their numbers say they can't stop anybody. So that's not a good combination for me. Sam Howell, at quarterback, he hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been great either. He's pretty average. The Commanders, again, at 4-8, I don't see how they're going to be able to beat the Dolphins. It looks like the Dolphins are starting to get into a roll here. I think the Dolphins win this game big at Washington and cover the 9.5 points, which takes us to our next game between the 6-5 Denver Broncos, who are traveling to Houston to face the 6-5 Houston Texans. This is going to be a really good game. I'm really interested to see this game. The Texans are 3.5-point favorites, but the Broncos are red hot. They have won 5 straight. They've beaten some good teams on the process. Russell Wilson looks like the Russell Wilson in Seattle. I mean, 20 touchdowns, 4 picks, 68% completion. The key to the Bronco offense, in my opinion, is making sure you block for him. Before last week's game, he had been sacked like 33, 34 times. If you give Russell Wilson time, he will dissect a defense. I mean, it looks like him and Sean Payton have some really good chemistry going on right now. And last week, he was only sacked 1 time, so they kept him clean in a victory. Texans, on the other hand, have been the surprise team for me, mainly because their rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud from my Ohio State Buckeyes, has been playing also like an MVP candidate. I mean, you got to think at this point he is the front runner for Rookie of the Year. He's come down to earth a little bit the last couple games, throwing interceptions. He has 5 interceptions on the year, which is still, for a rookie, phenomenal. 11 games in. He has 19 touchdowns, 63% completion percentage. So that team, I mean, they are finding their way at 6-5. They lost last week, but they've won 3 out of the last 4. 3.5-point favorite at home. Normally, I would say I take that, but they're facing a red-hot Bronco team right now. I think the Broncos win this game. I do. I think the Broncos are going to go to 7-5, and they have totally turned their season around. You got to give Sean Payton a lot of credit. Which takes us to our next game. Well, actually, I'm going to skip over this game. I'm going to skip over the Falcons and Jets game because I'm going to give you a preview of that on another video. A treat for my Jet fan buddies. So be on the lookout for that later on this week. Let's go to our 4 o'clock games. We have the 1-10 Carolina Panthers, who are traveling to Tampa to face the 4-7 Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are a 5.5-point favorite, and the Panthers just aren't a good football team. They've lost 4 in a row. Bryce Young, rookie quarterback, still trying to find his way. It's been up and down. Only 187 yards a game is what he's averaging. He has 9 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's struggled, 61% completion percentage. So again, he's figuring out how to play quarterback in this league. And on the other hand, Baker Mayfield's been pretty solid, man. He's been pretty solid so far. I mean, almost 65% completion, 17 touchdowns, against 7 interceptions. Mike Evans is one of the best wide receivers in the league. And they've been solid at home. So I'm going to pick them to win and cover. Not a hard choice for me, especially against the woeful Panthers, who are also going to be in that mix with the Patriots and the Cardinals for that number 1 top draft pick. Our next game is an interesting one between the 7-4 Cleveland Browns, who are traveling to face the 5-6 Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are 3.5-point favorites. They've won their last 2. They've looked better. They're starting to Kyren Williams is starting to look really, really solid last week. Over 200 yards from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns. Looks like Stafford is starting to find his groove. And you really can't count an offense out that is coached by Sean McVay, who is one of the more creative play callers in the league. I'm jealous since I'm a Jet fan. We don't have that. But you have them going against a Browns team who are starting a rookie quarterback. I mean, obviously with Watson out for the season, they're starting DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He struggled, but their defense is legit, and it's going to keep them in games. They are, 7th in the league in points allowed. They're only allowing 19 points a game, 33 sacks, led by an absolute beast in Myles Garrett, who has 13 sacks. So you think that their defense is going to keep them in it, but traveling out west against a Rams team that is looking a lot better on offense, I'm going to pick the Rams to win this game and cover, only because I'm not confident in the quarterback play from the Browns, at least not at this point. It's still early in his career. He looks like he has a lot of potential, but he still has a little bit, a long ways to go. And then our next game, which is going to be the game of the week, I believe. It's a 4 o'clock game. It should have been a primetime game, in my opinion, between the 8-3 San Francisco 49ers, who are traveling to Philadelphia to face the 10-1 Philadelphia Eagles, an Eagle team that they find ways to win, man. I mean, I'm shocked that the Jets actually beat them. It's funny that the Jets are the only team that's actually beat them to this point. They are really good because they find ways to win, and they haven't even played their best football yet. That's the scary part. You got to think that it's coming sooner or later. Jalen Hurts is a solid quarterback, man. He has a lot of heart. He is clutch. He has moxie. I mean, I love watching him play. I really do. I love his attitude too. Their offensive line is one of the best in the league, going up against one of the best defensive lines in the league. I mean, 9th in sacks, led by Chase Young and Joey Bosa against this offensive line. That's going to be a treat to watch. They also turn the ball over. They're first in the league in interceptions. So if they're not careful, they will take the ball away from you as well. The Niners, they've won 3 straight. Brock Purdy is a legit starting quarterback. He's having a great season going up against Jalen Hurts. This is going to be a great matchup. I'm looking so much forward to this game. The Niners 3-point favorites going to Philly. Wow. Again, Philly hasn't played their best game, but they find ways to win. Find it hard to believe. Well, let's put it this way. I can't pick against Philly at home. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick them to win this game in the upset, since the Niners are going to be the favorite. But again, wouldn't surprise me if, the Niners came in and won this game either. But I'm picking the Eagles, which takes us to our Sunday night game between the 8-3 Kansas City Chiefs, who are traveling to Lambeau to face the 5-6 Packers. And the Packers are winners of 2 straight. They're looking a lot better. Jordan Love is looking a lot better, actually. So it looks like he's showing a lot of improvement. And then you got the Chiefs with the best quarterback in the league. But they flip-flop wins and losses the last 5 weeks. They've won 3 out of 5, but they've won 1, they've lost 1, They won one, they've lost one, they've won one. And since they won the last one, I'm going to think that they're probably going to lose this one, right? I mean, that would be common sense, right? They're a 6-point favorite. And I think the Packers, I mean, they're starting to play a lot better football. At home, they just beat a Lions team that is very explosive on offense. The Chiefs, even though they're 8-3, they haven't been looking like the Chiefs of the last couple of years. I'm going to pick the Packers to win this game in an upset at Lambeau Field on Sunday night. And then our last game is our Monday night game between the 5-6 Cincinnati Bengals against the 8-3 Jacksonville Jaguars. This game is in Jacksonville, and the Jaguars are coming in as an 8.5-point favorites. You got to feel for the Bengals. They lost 3 straight. They've lost their starting quarterback for the year. They are starting a rookie quarterback, Jake Browning, who is only averaging 98 yards in passing offense against a team that, right now many are considering, one of the favorites to possibly make it to the AFC Championship game. I mean, Trevor Lawrence and he's legit. In his third year, he's legit. I mean, he's hasn't been, blowing up the scoreboards with touchdown passes. He only has 12 touchdown passes against, I believe, 7 INTs. But he has 67% completion percentage, and he has a tendency to make the big pass when he needs to make it. And that, to me, has the makings of a quarterback that is going to be big time as the years progress. I mean, you got to think he's only going to get better and better. And then, he has a solid running back in ETN, who he can rely on. And I think any good young quarterback, if they have that running back to rely on, that is a recipe for success. And then you look at this threesome that he has to throw the ball to: Christian Kirk, Ridley, and Ingram. Between those three, they have 167 catches and 8 touchdowns. So he has weapons and he's utilizing them. And more importantly, like I said, it seems like no matter how bad of a game he's having, he seems to make the really good throw late in the game when he needs to, which he's showing that he's a clutch quarterback. That's only going to get better and better as he continues to develop in the league. I love his game. I wish the Jets would have tanked that year and we would have had him to be our quarterback, but here we are today. But anyhow, those are my Week 13 picks. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. I did not pick or predict the Jets and Falcons game. I'm going to obviously do another video on that separately before the week is out as a treat to my Jet fan buddies out there. So be on the lookout for that. But let me know what you think about my picks. Feel free to drop a line in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Love hearing everybody's feedback. And if you are new to watching my videos, please subscribe and definitely hit that notification button so that you're alerted anytime I drop any new video or any new content. But as always, I thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support. This is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot, and I will talk to everybody soon.